Namaskar. Welcome to an aspiration, the establishment and sustainability of a female dancer in terms of socio-economic system. And today I have with me Srimati Sujata Banarjee, an MB award winning Kathak dancer, choreographer, guru based in London. And she has worked so hard to spread Kathak in all over the UK. And not only UK, I think she has many students from other countries as well. And she got many awards and she did many things. I think during our conversation, we'll get to know all about her journey and everything. So Sujata Di, welcome. And she is very special for me because she is the one who gave me the first opportunity to work in abroad, and from then the relationship and my journey is going on. So I am really very glad to have Sujata Di in my show. Sujata Di, how was your journey as a dancer, and how your learning process, I would like to know the your gurus and your family support and whatever in a brief.
Well, I'm glad to be in this program. To start with, I come from a family where nobody was a dancer or a musician. My father was a police officer. Mother was, she used to sing, and she used to also play guitar. It sounds a bit strange. My mother used to play guitar, but this guitar is the Hawaiian guitar, which was, quite popular at one point. So growing up in Bengal, learning music and dance, it's absolutely normal. When children are growing up, okay, you have to go to a dance school or a music school. There is a word they used to say, nak ache. They will go and learn something. And then also to keep children occupied in various artistic activities. So I started like that. My mother thought I was very energetic in doing whatever, running around and all this. So dance would be a good way of keeping my energy. So I started learning with my first teacher, who used to come to my house, Sri Kanai Chatterjee. I used to do some folk dance, and then mainly Kathak, but side by side we did lots of different folk dances, dance dramas, and so on, so on. Then I did Visharad, Prabhakar, all this. Thinking back now, Prabhakar means like a graduation level, or Visharad. But I don't think I was a graduate at that time. I knew lots of bowl tukras, but not to call that, like when I am an engineer, when you done engineering
Graduation,
graduation, but yeah. No way it's that level. I could dance. I don't know what dance was about, but I could dance. So anyway, so I came to Ruby Bandopadhyay. Then my journey was with her for several years. And I was very lucky that my family knew, or my mother and Pandit Kumar Bose's mother, they were like childhood friends. So I could go to their house and practice and learn. So they were for me the role models, like musicians, and in their house lots of other dancers will come, artists will come. So I was to be absolutely mesmerized with their lifestyle, with the work. All night they will practice, they will go to a performance, they will do this, they will be joking around. The other people will, hey, stay back. It sort of resonated with me. I quite like that kind of. I used to always get told off by my mom that I used to come home very late. Like if I said I'm coming in 3 hours, I'll come in 6 hours. And then we say, all the boys are there, you hanging around there. So it's that kind of thing. Okay, you can dance, you can choreograph, but don't hang around with boys and stuff like that.
No.
Yes. So I was always very attracted to that kind of
atmosphere,
fun. It seemed like there was a lot of pure fun there. There was only do riyaz and hard work and fun and appreciation. At that time, there wasn't actually an agenda that I want to go for a foreign tour, or I want to, if I do this, it will be good. They did hardcore riyaz, and I was like at the back,
Yes.
getting totally inspired. I didn't know I was inspired. You are too young to understand all these things. So anyway, so then I was always interested. One thing, lately, because of this situation, there are lots of social media talks and this, so obviously you think lots of things. I was always very interested in organizing things. In childhood, when I used to, in the neighborhood, I'll gather everybody, and everybody had to do some singing, some dancing. If you didn't know, I will teach somebody, okay, you read a poetry, even if we have to look at it, you just look at it and play. We'll hang some saris, and there is the performance, and in the veranda, and then that was important. Like I saw in Reader's Digest, there was an exercise equipment. I gathered 3-4 people. I said, hey, put some money, you put some money, I put some money. We buy this, and in our house, I will teach you the exercise. So I was always interested with people.
Organizing something.
Organizing and doing things together. That gave me a lot of pleasure. And so when I wanted to teach, I was teaching for a very young age. And it was also very interesting how I started. There was one lady, she used to be a nurse in a hospital, in the police hospital. And she used to see that I used to dance, and her daughter wanted to learn. But, sadly, the nurses and some of the hospital staff, they do such great jobs, but the salary was always very low. So they could not afford. So this girl used to come to my house. I was probably 14, 15-year-old, and then I used to teach this girl. And I used to really like teaching her, because she appreciated, because she could not go to any other school. So I started teaching very young age, and then there was a school who asked me, 18, 19-year-old. I started my own school when I was like 18-year-old and 19-year-old. And I used to, when I was in college, I used to again organize everybody, Shama, dance drama, Alibaba dancer, everybody had to be involved. So that always excited me.
So from the very beginning, like you are in organizing something. At the same time, your learning session is going on, but at the you are organizing or choreographing something and teaching.
Yeah, always
parallel.
I think what I probably looking back now, I naturally had a leadership. I wasn't a talented dancer. Nobody looked at me and said, wow, what a great dancer. No. Tik-tak, like average dancer, okay?
But to produce something like a
average dancer with a lot of energy and believe that everybody should do it. It's good for you. You have to do it. It's good for you, okay? So that was my kind of philosophy with it. And still now, after so many years, I see I'm doing the same, okay? It's very interesting how the cycle really carries on, what you really are and who you are and what excites you. And so anyway, so I, to cut all that side of it, I was never ambitious that I'll be, that very famous. I performed, I did my Bisharat Pravakar, I performed, I did solo performances, many conferences, and I had my own school. They were doing exams. I did exam. I was helping Rubidi. I did a little bit of Bharatanatyam at that time. And Thampi sir, he asked me to help him in his class. I was doing it. But I was like, okay, chhod dega to chhod dega, kiya to kiya. This was like, okay, I'll see where it goes. And I did a lot of sports. I also, as extracurricular activity, studied. My study was extracurricular activity. My other activity was the main activity.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it.
So I did masters in political science. somehow as extracurricular activity. So
But after that, you did dance, like science,
yeah,
what
that I did
sports
here.
science?
Sports I did here. So anyway, so I got married and I came here in 1982, 11th August, 1982. Okay, so it was a huge change. It was an arranged marriage and it was a disaster. So I was always very courageous. I would like, we learned this poem, পারিব না এ কথাটি বলিও না, সকলে পারিবে যাহা তুমিও পারিবে তাহা. I used to think, why can I not do? If that person is doing, why can I not do? Really, I used to think, I wanted to swim. I didn't know. I was pregnant, I couldn't swim. I went and I said, all these ladies are swimming, why can I not swim? Then I joined and in 3 days I was swimming. Okay. So it was always a thing. Why not? Why can I not do? Why? I'm ready to work hard. Why will I not be able to do? I never understand. So I never understand, why should I be scared to go and talk to that person? Because that person is not going to beat me up or anything. So when I came here, I was, of course, new country. I had no relative, nobody, and things were very, very different. I was in an area where you hardly see any Asian people. I had my son at that time, and so I was just finding out. I had my son pretty much straight away, and I was just finding out what to do. And I was just before my son was born. I was in a Durga Puja, and somebody said somebody wanted to dance. Like a Tego song, and then they were looking for somebody who could have the cassette, who would sing, and I said, oh, I can sing. So I did sing that song, and so other people come and say, oh, you sing? I said, no, actually I dance. And so somebody said, okay, in Saraswati Puja we have a performance, will you perform? This is end of October. My son was due to be born in November, and the performance would be in February. Okay. In between that time, it's the first winter in this country, and winter, of course, is very cold. And then we would be moving homes as well. Okay. And I said, okay, yeah, I will. Like, why should I not? I don't know how I'll go, where Reading is and where London. I said, I'll do. So anyway, and I did. Okay. So I started after the postnatal checkup. I started my exercises to get fit and my practice, and then I did. So then I carried on, and it was very much community based, like, Bengali community, Indian community. But then somehow, I'm not going through every single detail, somehow somebody asked me, then we moved in various places. Somebody asked me if I would work. It's a contemporary dance group. Would I go and choreograph a piece on them, youth group? So I said yes. So this is in 1986, kind of 4 years later. And I did. So worked really hard to understand musicality, the body movements, how it's gel. It's not that you just do a one movement of contemporary and suddenly you do a one movement, how things would gel one after another and so on. And musically also, I tried with very little equipment. I would hear this note, and I will keep that note and change another music to see where the cut and blend can happen and so on. So that was televised, and that went very well. So after that, gradually started getting introduced in various sort of wider dance field. And started teaching pretty much straight away, moved in different places, went and I trained as a teacher, school teacher, so I also went to teach. And I was teaching in very, very rough areas, but I could handle those naughty boys and challenging situations, because I feel there was a strength that I had no hesitation that I dance. Okay, you're going to do this. It's good for you. Again, gathering them together. Or sports, created badminton club, volley club, and all these things. So always doing things with others. And then after probably a year and a half, I gave up that teaching. And I feel like, no, this is not what I want to do. I was still in my marriage, so I was not the only bread earner. Okay, I was not only that my house was dependent on my own income. Then I was doing various workshops, working for Commonwealth Institute as their outreach speaker all over the country, travel, different workshops, different things, with a young son. Okay, so Rajiv was extremely supportive. He was not a problematic child. So he would, in the sense like, no fuss, he will just, whatever, sometimes children make so much fuss. I don't want to eat this, or this is this, I want that toy, or this, that. He was very good.
Good boy. Good boy.
Good boy. But he probably knew, even if he tried, he probably wouldn't have gone farther. It's like he thought, okay, it's better to accept it. So anyway, so
so what did you say? You were the you were the earning member, or no? You're like
I was not the main earning, because I was still in my marriage at that time. Okay.
Okay.
But then I carried on and so on. So because your topic is sustainability as a female artist, so I'm jumping lots of other things to go in there. Then I, at that time, probably when I was teaching in the school and I was teaching dance in the weekends, and I left my school teaching, that is probably the time I knew that that's what I want to do. Okay. Because when in the school teaching, they were sending me, okay, go to this course, you can go up and be principal or whatever, like your progression route. I used to say, no, I'm not interested. I dance. And when it came to the dance field and said, like, would you want to apply for this? Do you want to say, no, I teach. So I was playing.
Options were there. Yeah, you had the options. Yes.
I remember once Kumarda came. He was touring with Ravi Shankarji. He came to my house again. Then he said, okay, let's see. How is your riyaz? So we sit down to practice. And after a while, I'm saying, oh, my leg hurting or something, because I don't do riyaz anymore. Okay. So he said, I knew that you were a waste of time. And like he shouted. And then he said, do naukate pa diye cholte pare na, because I was saying, I teach. Okay, because he's saying kichu habe na, like nothing will happen. And I said like, oh, I teach. And then I know inside I teach, I'm telling here, but when I go in the teaching career, I tell them, oh, I dance, so I do something else. Okay.
No, गुरुजी तो हमेशा मतलब ये तो उनका मतलब दोनों के में पार रख के नहीं चल सकते, दोनों नाव में.
Two boats, if you keep your leg, which is actually very true. The water is so fluid. So if you stand with leg one, another one, and if one boat goes a little quicker, it'll be dangerous. It can split you apart. So I, after that, because he said, then after that, I took it very seriously. After a couple of months, I left my teaching. Okay. And I also thought, why am I feeling the urge to leave the teaching? Right? Because I'm teaching. Money never actually necessarily attracted me, because money is wealth. Your life is richness.
Yes.
My life is very rich. I may not be wealthy. Okay. So I wasn't that I will get more money and hence I carry on. Like, what will I do? I'll probably just buy another sari or another piece of jewelry,
or whatever.
Or maybe I'll feel very good. Oh, I have that much money in the bank, but I may die in a month's time. The money is somebody else's. So anyway, so I I left teaching at that time, and then I went to do the only dance classes and workshops and all this. So again, I'm cutting quite a few years here. Then I decided, then I separated from my marriage. So I moved in, I bought a very small flat. At that time, it was, this is in 1994, okay, 94. At that time, it was easier to get mortgage, and you know, the interest rate, you don't have to put so much deposit. Things were slightly easier. But I took the courage. I had basic needs. I said, I need to have 2 bedroom, one obviously for my son and one for me, downstairs flat, but one need, it has to be near my son's school, and ground floor so that I can do some practice. And then it was difficult to find, whatever was my budget, it was difficult to find. And I said, okay, 1 bedroom. I'll get a bunk bed. My son will sleep upstairs in the bunk bed. I will at the bottom. Then it was difficult. I said, no, I'll go in a studio flat. Okay. But we did fine. But before that, I tell you, when I wanted to split up, and then I said, like, well, how will I sustain and this, that. At that time, there were 2 guys, 2 musicians, they were working with me. Tabla player, I don't want to just name, they're very good musicians. As santoor player on a project. And I remember I was sort of crying and walking up and down the stairs. And I said, if those 2 guys can run a family, why can I not run a family? Are they smarter than me? They are in a similar business. Are they really, really smarter in their subject? Am I any less in my quality of my profession than they are in their music field? They were married, these 2 guys, and they had 1 child each, both of them, and their wives didn't work. So it was single person's income.
They are 3, and you are 2. Like 2. You and your son.
And I'm saying, if they can support their family, why can I not? Why not? Are they smarter? They are not cleverer than me. They are not cleverer than me. I can. Okay. It's all in the head. All in the head, because when you are born, you are expected to do something and you do that. Because it's in the head. And you were expected to do that, you do bad job, good job, whatever you do, right? Because if you're expected of doing something as a man, and you carry on doing as a man. And then I decided, and then I bought the flat, and I bought it, I didn't rent it. Somehow, I'm like, I knew if I buy, it will be your own. No, it's permanent. If I rent, it's not permanent.
Yes, good.
Somehow in my head, I am quite chilled out about life, but there are certain things I'm actually, I take right decisions at the right time.
No, I know that, I know.
So I moved in that house, and then for a while, I went back in my regular school teaching as a part-time, just to have a little bit more, like probably for 6 months, I went once a week, twice a week. We could hear one can do supply teaching. That means you just do odd jobs. So I did a little bit, but then I didn't have to continue, okay? You know, I tell you one thing. If you believe in something, যেমন বলে বিশ্বাসে মিলায় বস্তু তর্কে বহু. If you believe, you believe. In my life, I have seen with incidents, with episodes, with lots of things get sorted out. As an artist, I think one of the biggest qualities we should have, adaptability. Any situation, right? Any situation. Oh no, I need to have a bed. I need to have an attached bathroom. I need to have somebody to carry my bag. I need to have my breakfast at 10 a.m. You know, like you have to be flexible.
No.
You need to be,
Yes.
even not only as an artist, as a person.
As a person,
Like, you know, imagine
yeah.
if you were so rigid, your life is going to be miserable.
Yeah, like for example, right now, like if we think, yes, definitely, like when the students are in front of you and you are enjoying by teaching them or whatever, but at the same time, if they can't come to your place, so you have to go through this online. Yes, we know, like this is not the actual process, but still, like instead of like teaching the critical or the intricacy of Kathak, we can do some simple thing as well.
But on that point,
Engage.
Shandip, on that point,
Yeah.
what we have seen all this time, we thought that is normal. Who knows
Yeah.
what is normal?
Yeah.
In 50 years' time, the normal is going to be totally different normal.
Yeah. Like for example,
and we are at the moment in the transition period
transition
where
period.
we will make what is this new normal going to be.
Yes.
Okay?
Like for example, I don't know whether am I right or wrong. Like if we look at the journey of like any dance form, so it was somewhere else, like either temple, like as a Devdashi or as a Kathaka storyteller, then to the court. So the thing also changed. So what we are like now we are watching, it's today's time. It may change in future, so we don't know, like whoever will be able to cope up with the situation, so then it will go like that, I think so.
You know, I analyze, you know, I studied sports science and did a lot of research and all that. I analyze always in that terminology. When a muscle is very tight, it cannot give you lots of range. If it's very tight here, you will not get range. Okay? So we work on the flexibility of the muscle. We have to work on flexibility of everything.
Everything. Yes, very good point. I think for today's time, it's very important for everyone like who wants to sustain in any field, not only in dance and not only like as a male or female. No, as a human being, if like we want to sustain in the society, we have to be very flexible. Very good, very good. Thank you. And next.
And then I carried on with working, workshops. You know, when people say, oh, you have done this, you have done that, or, you know, you said earlier, this award, that award. Honestly, I'm not being humble. None of these awards matter anything. You do your work. Okay? Honestly, I'm saying, if you're lucky, somebody gives you, recognizes your, you know, your hard work, it's fine.
Yeah. If not, you have to be happy. You have to continue your work.
What difference would it make if I go in a class and everybody has a great time? They will remember of that time. They're not saying like, oh, she has got an award. It's ulta. If you go and you do a bad job, they say, what is this Faltu award? It's like, who gave us the award?
True.
So, and to be honest, one thing how I don't really understand, thank God I'm not talented. It's like, if you are good today, if you don't do anything, 2 weeks, even physiologically, your muscle, your body, all will come down. So why am I saying I'm good? Because if I don't continue, I will not be good.
That's sustainability. Yes.
What am I boasting about? What am I talking about? It's always a journey. It's a continuous journey. If you're happy, you are journeying, going nicely, and you know, in the journey, when you go, oh, you feel hungry, okay, buy that anda boil or buy that jhalmuri if you are traveling. Or now on the flight, you buy a sandwich or whatever, okay? So you are putting the little fuel. For us, these fuels would be your continuous professional development, your continuous training. Training doesn't mean another tal, 9.5 beats to 15.5 beats or whatever. it is to make you complete as an artist. You want to understand teaching methodologies, you want to understand the biomechanics, you want to understand what is the principles of choreography, how audience perceives a dance, what is using of energy, using of breath. You want to continuously develop and develop yourself, not just what you're going to do with all this tukra toda of 9.5 minutes. Where are you going to dance? Okay, if you can count between 1 and 2, it's everything is sorted out. It's ultimately the matra between 1 and 2. Whether it goes up to 13 or 14 doesn't matter. Ultimately, it's that one space, right? Yeah, understanding that one space. So develop, it's a continuous journey. Yes, we will continue learning, we'll continue doing research, but it has to be open mind, embrace openly. And you know, I feel our heritage is very rich and very ancient, but we get stuck up over there. Our heritage is very ancient. Finished. Ancient heritage, make it grow. How? Because you are the person. Like, heritage will not grow without a person who is doing it.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
somebody need to carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, I have major problem when people say, I teach the way I learned. Okay, but your teacher doesn't teach that way anymore.
Yes, yes.
Because that
Because
he or she, your teacher has also evolved.
Yes, yes, yes.
And you were thinking 30 years back, 40 years back, saying, I am teaching the way I learn. Why? Your students are different, the country is different, the time has changed, the students' expectation has changed. You need to be intelligent about it.
And no, only like if you still continuing like learning from your teacher, then you may say like I am teaching whatever I am learning, because he or she, like the teachers, he or she is evolving his teaching methodology, so that like as a representative of her, you may. But if you stop learning,
also, you know, if I'm learning, like my students who learn from me, if they teach differently, I'm actually very happy.
Yes.
That means they are thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, you know, what am I saying? Like, if like they are under you, for example, they may use their own methodology, definitely. But at the same time, they are connected, so they know like you are not doing the same, like hastak for tati tati maybe. So it is changing. You are also changing, so they know the changes. But if they stop learning from you, maybe 10 years back, and you that time you did something like for some composition, and now you also change, so that I am saying definitely like
so because this is, you know, if we make the tradition such a precious thing, like, you know, antique piece of jewelry is like my grandmother gave me this nose star. It's an antique hira. It was, she was wearing in her wedding, and her grandmother gave. I keep it. It will be in the box. It will not be everybody's. It's good. There are certain things you need to keep in those boxes, but not everything. And teaching, as we know, it grows as we give. Vidya,
yes,
it grows.
It's live. It is live thing, no? Live, like it is living like asset or living things, no? So living things always changes. Yes, definitely. And so, anyway, by the way,
anyway, I do believe you can probably make out from my stories that I do believe you have to respect your art form. That I do dance and I respect it. If you hesitate to tell somebody that I dance, like, oh, will they think I'm stupid, or, you know, I'm not smart enough, or whatever, that means you need to work on it. Okay? If I believe in myself, then somebody else in believe in you.
Believe on you. Yes.
Right? Even if you do, you know, like I always say, like if you are driving, if you are a confident driver and go, even if you take wrong routes and so on, your passengers are all happy, like, oh, he will take me or she will take me. If you go like, Oh my God, what have I done? Oh my God, should I take a right turn? Should I take a left turn? You tense everybody. Even if you're a good driver, everybody's sitting like this. Should I go right? Should I go left? Should I go, okay? So you have to believe, then everybody will believe. You know, when when I decided I'm going to leave the marriage, you can understand. Today's days, it's very, you know, it's very regular. You just decide to leave the marriage. Yeah, so it was not as much. And nobody in my family wanted to know. Nobody in my family wanted to know. I didn't talk. I didn't need sympathy. I know whatever I do, I have to live with the consequences. If I, even now, you know, when my bedrooms are upstairs, when I come down very quickly, sometimes I say, careful, if I fall, everybody will say, aha, aha, ultimately hurt will be mine.
Yes. So you have to be conscious. That consciousness is very important.
You have to be totally responsible in what you do, and you pick up the consequences. Okay? If you go and earn your money and you spend everything, went on a holiday, and you have to pick up the consequences. You don't have any money to next day to give a present to your brother for his birthday, suppose, right? And you wanted to. At that time, don't cry that I don't have money, because you were not prepared for the consequences. You spent. Okay?
You didn't plan. You have to plan. You have to plan. Yes.
And plan means it's not difficult. You just prioritize. You just prioritize what is important, right? You prioritize what is important. This is important for me. If the holiday was important, yes, that was important. I don't give a present to my brother, it's fine. It's not, oh, I'm sorry, I'll just make a handmade card and I'll give it to you. I'll give you some present next year. It's happy. You prioritize. One thing I say a lot, take responsibility, okay? Like full responsibility. If I say something to somebody, if somebody fires me back, that means I have to take responsibility what I said. Right? How I said what I said. If I say a bad thing to somebody and somebody talks badly, I have to take responsibility for that because I instigated it, right? So same, whether it's spending money, whether your career is stuck, you didn't put money on going to courses. I still go to courses. I love going to courses. But I don't stand up and learn another Kathak Tukra. It's not that I don't need Kathak Tukras. I could learn. But I always want to grow very holistically. I would rather go to a course where they talk about, you know, dance and health or dance and this or whatever, rather than going and learning another 8.5 beats, because it's
actually,
not good or bad.
Like, no,
it's not good or bad.
I do understand.
What, how I see
your ideology, your focus, and your way of thinking, how you want to see your life.
Yeah, and I want to be better. I want to be better. I want to see life. I want to see work like this, because I don't see Kathak as, oh, I love Kathak, it's Indian dance, it's ancient. No, Kathak is the art form which is good. If it's good for anybody in the world. Right? So it's not my private, oh, it's my family thing, I keep it in the family. No, I don't see the art form like that. I see it's very open, and we need to create smart dancers, smart in the sense who can articulate, who can talk, who understand various things, and they can take it forward. You see them when a medicine is discovered, whole world is using. Right? People are immediately thinking different ideas. Scientists are proving something today, somebody else proving something tomorrow. They are not dumping this person, they're just taking the work forward, you know. So I just feel we have to be, as young generations, has to be, not forget training, not forget it's an ongoing journey, but at the same time, to think widely, And I'm saying it more because I live here and I see different kinds of dance. In India, mainly you see Indian dance, which is great. Lots of different dance styles are there. But here I see a wider range of dancing happening, okay? Which is That's why it's gradually.
But here I have a question to you. Yes, definitely the openness and like what you think it's very important for anyone, and especially for the developing countries, because there they have like the scope to think differently and to do something new. Because from their like I think from the students' life they can get grant to like produce something or something like that. Like as per I know, I may be wrong, but here in India, like it might be sometime become difficult for someone like I am as I know, like if are newcomers they start thinking by their own, so it might not be accepted by the like society, means like the fraternity. Like for example, we have like Kathak, Bharatanatyam, Odissi. So these are the classification they have. So what will be your suggestion for them, like
See, here it's not easy. It's a
uh,
myth.
uh,
Okay.
hmm,
Here the competition is less.
hmm,
That's true.
hmm.
But it's not that competition is less in one way for the Indian classical dancer, but in another way, it's a bigger competition because
With the
you
other
are
dance form,
the other
with the other
dancer.
dance form. Yes, yes.
If I am creating, suppose, a Kathak piece, it's easier because even if you are good and okay, you know, like just presentable, good, somebody will work with you. Okay, because there are not hundreds of dancers
Hmm,
available.
hmm, hmm,
So, but the
hmm,
competition is no less, number one. Number two, the grants and all that, it's really not true because um, there was a time maybe it was easier, but it's no longer as easy. But you know, in my life, I have been living here for 38 years, okay, in this country. And first, probably 1 or 2 years, I was not doing much. In my whole life, I probably had small grants for 5 to 6 times only, at the most. But see how much work I have done. If you want to sing, you want to do, what grant?
yes. Yeah, that's true. And then, no, like, what will be your suggestion for the young dancers? Like, how they should work? Like, for example, like, if I'm taking that example, like, yes, if they are like where Kathak is not so much, like, not so many Kathak dancers are there. Definitely, they have to like compete with the other dance form, like with the world like a dance scenario. But at the same time, as they have very limited like competitors, so they are thought process might be more important rather than their the actual technicalities. But here in India, like if a dancer from Kathak or Bharatanatyam or whatever, and so if they will start thinking, so sometime there might be a question like oh he like and as you told, like initially everyone is considered how like how much you know, like that like the technical part or like the shahitya whatever. But how how they can balance, and they can start thinking, yes, I have this much of knowledge of my form, and then I can create something more to make it wider. So do you think they can be a self judgmental, like up to this level I should just learn and then I can open up myself? Do you like if you do you have any suggestions regarding this
You know, this this training is see, it's ongoing. You have
mm,
so many
mm,
students who are
mm,
learning for a long
mm,
time,
mm, mm,
and they're still learning. They are teaching for you and all that when you're doing your
mm,
performances. They're in
mm,
your group and so on.
mm. And they're also working separately as well, like many
Separately
of
with
them.
other
Yeah,
choreographers, other
yeah,
people, and
yeah,
so on.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So this will be, they will learn from the jobs. Okay, If they're working with somebody and they're working on somebody and like they're doing some interesting project, they will, while in the project, they will learn. So because this process is also very important, they learn with different people, then that will give them the tools, that will give them the confidence that if I think I want to create something. So this experience has to happen. Okay. And
yes,
if also, I feel sometimes what happens, the teachers, we need to also think, if my student now doesn't come to me, okay, he or she is doing work, exploring, we should encourage that. Okay, don't come to class anymore, fine, go and explore, go and do some other dance and see how they work. Your guru is the solid person standing there, who you believe, who is your inspiration. That's your strength, but that should not be your weakness. You love your parents a lot, but if you get a great job in somewhere else in the world, oh, my parents, you would go, right? Your relation with your parents will not go bad. Okay.
yes, yes.
Because you need to grow, you need to go. Okay. Otherwise, when you come back home, you come back to your teacher and do class, and there has to be, the relationship has to be
Transparency, yes.
Transparency, quite happy relationship. You know, I have no control over my son's life. How should I control about my student's life?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think it changes with your time. See, for example, like, so you may treat your eldest son in some way, and like for the younger son to some other way, because with the time you are also changing yourself, and like you can see like other parents, how they like bringing up their children. So like
and then in that case, your older son would always tell you, oh, you did this to me, you're doing this to, that's
yeah.
life, but
So,
that's okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay.
like see, for example, because you change yourself, but if your older son will keep that and will try to that is, I think that he also need to change, like, yes, my
But
mom
you
has
know,
changed.
ultimately,
Yeah.
I always, you know, like many people, many moms, when you talk about women, and many people have guilt. Like you leave your daughter or son with the you know, with the carer, with some home help, or with your mother-in-law. Many people have guilt. You know, it's like, because somebody will suddenly do a little chubby and say, oh, he didn't eat today. You will feel, I went out, my son didn't eat. Okay, my daughter did bad marks in some art exam. Okay, drawing exam. And somebody will comment, oh, mother is always out and daughter is not doing well in exam. It's expected. Okay, never to feel guilty. I never have any guilt. I am born with my destiny, and my son is born with his destiny. Okay, so I would help as much as I can, as much as I understand, with sincerity. After that, it's his. If he is failing in arts exam or maths exam, it's his problem, not my problem.
Wow, great. So positive. Yes. No, that's why.
Yes, I didn't
Yeah.
tell him not to do maths, right? So why should it be my responsibility? Like, yeah, the women, this is a big thing, a guilt feel, and especially single woman has more guilt. I have no guilt. It's like not, you know, if what I'm doing today, this is the best I can do today. Maybe tomorrow I'll do it differently. But today I'm giving 100%. It's not that I'm thinking, oh, I'm not giving 100% today. I'm doing my best today.
Yes,
So if
yes.
tomorrow is different, what can I do about it?
Yeah. And if yesterday was different, that is different too.
Yeah,
But
because
today am
if,
I? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because these days you see all the moms do this, that, and the other. I didn't do any of this, but what I did was best what I could do at that time.
Yes.
If it worked for
Yes.
him,
Yes.
not. If not, good luck.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. It's very good. And by the way, like as like I mentioned, I know you got many awards and you did many like a work for the field of Kathak, especially in London, in UK. So can you please explain so that the viewers will be motivated? Like yes, a woman what can it's not a man and woman like a dancer leaving his country and his or her country and staying abroad and with the time with some the social status changes and how he or she managed so just for that to motivate.
I don't like to mention awards, Sandeep.
No, please,
No, it's
please,
just
please.
because.
No, because no, see, people also be inspired. No, it's not about you. It's the work and the recognition. I am just from that point of view. I am requesting you to because the some award for some reason and that so if it is not necessarily you have to achieve that award, but why the award system is there? Because to encourage the work. And if you as you mentioned if you are working honestly, so whether you will be recognized or not, it doesn't matter, but your work should continue. So that's why. But end of the day, you I know we are very proud of you, and we are connected with you, that's why.
Really?
Yes. No, 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 no. Being an Indian and Bengali as well. But no, I don't want to be go into that really. No, nothing. As a dancer, as a Kathak dancer, and I know you took Kathak and all other Asian dance forms into the ISTD level. So can you please say something very little about that?
See,
What was the journey and how was the journey? How difficult it was to establish Kathak? I would say Kathak only. And other dance forms like Indian dance forms to make at par level of with ballet or other dance forms over there.
in the ISTD, when I was chairperson for the classical Indian dance faculty for about 10 years. Okay, but a committee member for 20 odd years or so. Okay, now I when I became the chair, I obviously knew lots of other meetings and other opportunities, other events happening. All these events, suppose ballet, something happening, some lecture happening, this, that, and the other, I always made time and go, because I always felt I am growing by attending this. No, nobody even, by your own money, you sometimes go. And then sometimes I could claim for the travel, but it's very silly, I felt to, it's like, so I attended. That was my privilege. It's not that I was the chair, but I learned so much by being a chair. I was exposed to various things and I could take those opportunities. And I always felt, I don't want to say Indian dance is special. I want to say Indian dance is standing next to you. It's not so special that you put it in a big like a wall and display it. Display it. Put it there, display and say namaskar. Oh, yeah, that's Indian dance. No, it's this. I'm here. I'm here with you. So, and the couple of awards or few awards I got, it's all related to
No,
that.
I know that some award you got, I think last year or something like that. What was give one a dance it's compared to all the dance forms. What's that? I know
So
that, but I
I've
can't
got
explain.
a ISTD's honorary fellowship, which I have. Then there was an award from, there is an organization called People Dancing. Okay, so they gave award. lifetime award. And then there is one organization called One Dance UK, which is the main sort of umbrella body organization. I also had an award from them last year, Lifetime Achievement Award for education and participation. Okay, because I always say I teach dance as an education. It's an education. Okay, so I talk in various sort of events and so on. So I take people through those things, and when I'm training people, I keep that in mind. If you are educating somebody well, that person can shine everywhere. It's an education. So anyway, I was lucky enough to be picked up, and so it was across the board, like of all the dance forms. So it was education and participation. So that was a lifetime award, achievement award last year. And
so yeah, like why I'm requesting you to say this, because like it's about not only like it's not about like establishment or sustainability. It's about your work, your dedication, and your focus. So you, if someone wants to like do like continue his or her work, so he or she will continue. And whether it will give any recognition or not, it can't be the focus. So that's why. Yeah,
can't be the focus. And to be honest, do you know, I don't know if I am a little bit tera. I don't like to use my MBE after my name. Okay, as when you get the Queen's Award, you can use, right?
like here I should mention for the Indian audience, like we'll see, like MBE award is kind of our the Padma award, like
Padma, yeah,
Padma award, like
so
Padma
you
Shri,
can
Padma
use it, but
Vibhushan,
I just feel it's so unnecessary. It's because then, you know, like I always, like when I performed, when people wanted to, you know, before you perform, they announce this person is going to come and this many awards. I always,
I know, because I
always
have the experience.
So
Yes,
always protested. Why do you have to talk about it? Like, and these days
don't
more
say,
so.
yes.
Yeah, these days more so. If people, as you were talking, people can just Google you and can find everything about you. Okay. As you were talking under the table, they will just look at the phone, all information. You don't need to say anything, right?
Yes.
So it's no point really. It doesn't, and your name, if you do good work and people love you and you have given some contribution, people actually will remember you for who you are and your name, not your award. So I did say like, no point taking an award, because they were so badmash. They were like really torturing this one, because I saw the film, and it will be like after a month or so I'll be going to the Buckingham Palace, and I said, I don't want to take this award. And my friend is saying, yeah, I know, but take it. But dekho, one thing I believe, see, ballet dance is not from this country, okay? It's Italian ballet, it's a Russian ballet. Ballet is not from England. How come ballet is the most popular dance? Because of the
quality and the practitioner, like who
they
presented
made
ballet.
It so standardized.
Yes.
So I believe in 30 years time, you never know, Kathak may be the most popular form anywhere. It's how you take it, how
today's time, like today's like generation, they are carrying forward. So
but also as forward, and your training, how sharp, how thinking, you know, like it's not just thinking tora tukra. That's one subject, that's one part of it.
It's a management, like it's a total management.
Whole thinking there has to be. And more we talk about it, more the younger generation will start thinking, oh yes, they will.
Yes.
You have to expand your.
I think this lockdown has like created that way out. Maybe like definitely in terms of like practical like application. Now we are stucking onto that, but our mind can be more open, and it is, I think it is opening, and like and which is needed for future, I think so. We don't know. So anyway, thank you, Sujata Di, for your time and everything. So end of the day, if you want to say something for the young, like upcoming dancers, so please, and we'll conclude the session with that.
Sometimes we think, rightly so, that my engineer friend is earning big bucks and I have chosen to be dancer. I earn less. It's unfair. I could be an engineer and be like him or her. But people respect you not for how much money you are earning. People respect you for who you are. 100%. I'm a very small artist compared to, Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, Maharaj ji. They all come to my house regularly.
Yes, we know that.
So it's not because that I'm a great artist, because nobody could be greater than them, right? Nobody can be greater than them. Why? If you are a person who can be a friend, who can listen, who can understand, who is normal in thinking, who can react, who can interact with everybody, who is a good company, then people will enjoy your company, right? If people in your company, they would like to spend time with you. And they respect you not from the car you walk out of, who you are. Initially, they may. We all the time, you say like, wow, what this big car has come. And then you say like, oh gosh, look at the way this person is talking. So really to believe, we invest on ourselves to be a better human being, to be a better artist, complete artist. The money, you need basic money, but very few people, and if you are learning to dance right from the beginning, very few people in that poverty line, actually. If you really didn't have any food on your table, on your plate, you would have, first thing would have never come for dancing. You had little money and desire. That's why your parents had, even if it is 100 rupees or whatever, you can. So you don't come from that background, really. Luckily,
anyway, yes,
you had. So you're not going to be left in hunger. You respect yourself and, develop yourself as a professional, as a good human being, an interesting human being, and something people would respect you for, and not just because what money.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.